I'm told you're the guy I want to speak to about my God problem. They didn't give me a name though, or in fact any details, so who are you?
The name's not really important. I work for a classified branch of MI6, and we specialize in the particular type of problem you seem to be dealing with at the moment.
Ah, I see. Please, tell me more.
Of course, but there's a lot of things that you'll need to be briefed on to fully catch you up to speed. And I'll make sure, of course, that those files are sent over to you. So for now, I'll just give you the summary. Mr. Bash, there are certain men within your company with the ability to do things that no normal man can do. Things like make ice appear from the ground, or shoot lightning out of their fingertips. And I'm sure you've realized watching these things happen at first hand, these are no magic tricks. This is the real deal. We're not sure when it started happening, but these superpowered beings have been walking among us for quite some time now. The earliest sighting of these gods date back to 1986, but it's really started to amp up since around 2018. Why are they here? We don't know. But what they do while they are, that's pretty clear to us. They wreak havoc. The bombing of Camden, London in 2019. The collapse of the Severn Bridge in 2021. The mysterious disease that swept through Scotland, causing people to go deaf earlier this year. I'm sure you read a lot of different things related to these stories in the press back when they happened. But as you can imagine, those were all cover-ups. The truth behind each of those situations is that one of these gods is responsible for each and every one of them. And those are just the headlines. It seems to be at least once a month now that we get new sightings of one of those beings somewhere in the world.
Jesus. So, what are we supposed to do about all this?
Well, that's the thing I wanted to speak to you about today. The short answer is, we do nothing. You see, what you have in your company are two Class A level gods. The highest level threat that we use to rank them. Now the one they call the Frozen Titan, we perceive him to be a very serious threat. He first turned up on our radar at the start of the most recent winter, bringing the worst snowstorm we've ever seen along with him. And so far, he hasn't done anything too extreme, but his thirst for attack and battle man is only getting worse and worse as the weeks go by. We believe that's what draws him to your company, a regulated organization that not only allows him to fight, but also allows him to be worshipped in front of the whole world. That's just a god's wet dream. And the other one, currently going by the aliases of Colby Jordan, possesses the power of Thor himself. Whether he is actually Thor or not, we don't know, nor it's relevant. Either way, the guy can still shoot lightning and summon destructive beams of light from the sky. But you'll be happy to know that he doesn't have the same types of thirsts as some of these other gods. In fact, he's one of the good ones. You don't find too many of those, especially ones with power he possesses. I mean, if it wasn't for him, Lord only knows what this world would look like right now.
What do you mean?
Colby turned up on the radar around 2006, not long after the attack on the Parliament that same year. As you can probably guess by now, it was an Islamic terrorist like the media said. It was one of the scariest motherfuckers we have ever seen. It was as is the devil himself has raised from hell. Right in the middle of Parliament, a sinkhole just opened up with fire and smoke flooding out of it. For once, it was a good thing that none of these lazy politicians hardly ever show up to work, because everyone in attendance that day ain't here today. It was horrific, uncontested power, arriving at the place where our leaders gather and just burning them all to a crisp. In our darkest hour, as the demon had taunted us for a week, he had finally began to rise from the pits he had created. When it seemed like this tiny insignificant island that now we call Great Britain was about to be engulfed in flame. Like Superman, he flew through the air from an unknown location, directly into the Parliament building, where he tackled the monster back into the hell it once came. And ever since then, Colby has stood alongside mankind and averted catastrophe after catastrophe. He really has become our last hope.
Wow. Didn't realize we had someone so important on our roster. So, what do you want me to do from here?
Well, you've just hit the nail on the head, Mr. Bash. You didn't realize who Colby Jordan was. You didn't realize who Virgil Snow was. And the truth is, most of the time, you won't realize who they are before they are already signed to your company. And for the sake of you and everyone else around you, once you have them under your roof, I wouldn't try and put up a fight to get them out of here.
Oh, let me get this straight. So you're expecting me to just go on with these freaks on my roster? Well, what about the safety of the rest of the people?
That's exactly what we expect you to do, Mr. Bash. And we expect you to keep quiet about it while you do so. You're a professional wrestling company, for God's sakes. If anyone can take something like this and make the masses believe that it's just work of fiction, then you should be you. But seriously, tread lightly, Mr. Bash. Don't piss off anyone you shouldn't. And don't cause this problem to become more of a problem than it already is. I think you understand what's at stake here. Besides, you have humanity's greatest asset watching over you. And if you got a problem that needs to be dealt with, I'm sure Colby will be there to clean up the mess. If you need anything else, you've got my number. Remember, Mr. Bash, tread lightly.
Gods. In a wrestling company. What have we become?